Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we want to present about intensive academic writing, which is the topic is biography study of Hasrizal Abdul Jamil and content analysis study of Hasrizal Abdul Jamil in his writing. We from group 16 and this topic will presented by me, Nur Ain Zakira binti Muhammad Yunus, matric number 1211658, and my partner is Nur Husna binti Muhammad Burhanuddin, matric number 1211637. So now I want to tell about the introduction of this topic. In this research, we choose a book writer Hasrizal Abdul Jamil to study the biography and contribution of Hasrizal Abdul Jamil in delivering preaching through his writing. In the content analysis study, we examine some of his writing, which are Sisi Berakhlak yang Hilang, Seni Berfikiran yang Hilang, and Kembaran Menala Diri. With this study, the researcher hope that this study will benefit readers to be open-minded and make it a life reference. So now, we start with intensive academic writing, biography study of Hasrizal Abdul Jamil. For data collection, in this study we use qualitative method to obtain information data. Information is collected from primary and secondary data source respectively. The primary data source is a semi-structured interview technique with Ustaz Hasrizal to obtain data about his preaching through writing. Secondary data source are collection of supporting literature, document or book to support the data in this study. Next, data analysis. The interview data has been transcribed to facilitate the researcher to obtain the data narrated by Ustaz Hasrizal. The information collected during the interview will be explained and examined by the researcher. To be more specific, the researcher will build instrument, collect data and process data according to the study protocol to guarantee the validity and reliability of the study. So next, I want to talk about finding of research. In this study, Ustaz Hasrizal tell his life journey, his career challenge, his mentor and so on. Hasrizal Abdul Jamil is a writer who is no longer a stranger to his critical and challenging writing. So far, he has written 28 books. He actively shares critical reflection on current issues, especially on education, on his social side. Ustaz Hasrizal felt that the challenge of writing his work was not the biggest problem he faced. What is more worrying is the degree of inadequacy and ability of the reader to read with sufficient focus, anxiety, or a confidential understanding of long text. This condition has become a serious concern for future publication as problems with reading are becoming more common. According to Ustaz Hasrizal, Ustaz Paharul Choi played an important role in his development as a writer. The influence of Ustaz Paharul on his writing style is still traceable to this day. From the point of view of religion and science, Sheikh Yusuf Al-Qaradawi had a high impact, although there may be different of opinion or view with him. His way of combining science and religion in thought provide valuable perspective for Ustaz Hasrizal. Imam Birgiri, along the figure, has had a strong influence on Ustaz Hasrizal since Ustaz Hasrizal recognized his work. His reading and in-depth study of his thinking had a major impact on Ustaz Hasrizal thinking about religion, social criticism and the relationship between morality, morals and civilized life. Dawah is carried out to form an Islamic society, which is a society which all aspects of life are governed by the commandment of Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, and it is based on the Quran and Hadith. This is why preachers need to play their role so that they can be emulated by the Muslim community from various aspects such as courage, tenacity, and so on. For example, Ustaz Hasrizal is a book writer who dare to cover the current issues that are happening, namely education issue in Malaysia in his writing, and open the mind of young people to be more critical. He dares to take the risk to bring up the issue even though he's received some criticism through social media. His thoughts are great and different from other book writers. In addition, the dakwah approach by the preacher must be appropriate because it is very important to attract Muslims to jihad in the pace Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. For example, Ustaz Hasrizal used a preaching approach through his writing. Through writing, the community can delve deeper by making the writing a reference source of inspiration for readers.
Alright, so next we move to contents analysis study of Hasrizal Abdul Jamil in his writing. Alright, so for the data collection, the study used primary and secondary source to gather data. The primary source was an interview with a writer who wrote engaging books relevant to current events. So, information from his books and the publisher's website, which released novel like Sisi Berakhlak Yang Hilang, Seni Berfikir Yang Hilang, and Kembara Menalar Diri was also used. Alright, so for data analysis, any study that is conducted is familiar with the data analysis approach. It is possible to obtain study finding by using this method of data analysis. This approach is one that the researcher used to display the data that was collected through observation, interview, website, and other means. Data analysis is carried out to provide information in a more structured and meaningful manner. Next, we move to finding of research. The finding of Sisi Berakhlak Yang Hilang highlight key aspects. First, positive attitude and self-worth. The book under the core positive attitude development, repetition in learning, and behavior shaping for fostering strong morals. Number 2 is quality and creativity. It approaches the creative use of language tool, metaphor, and the fusion of theory and practice, delivering conscious, research-based information that resonate with readers. Number 3 is themes and message. The core themes center on Muslim morality by emphasizing ethical education for personal transformation, drawing from Islamic teaching and the Prophet's system. And number 4 is Islamic knowledge domain. It encompasses Quran and Hadith studies, Islamic moral philosophy, and the philosophy of Islam. Interpret this area with moral dimensions. So for the number 5 is Dawah approach. The book employs diverse preaching strategy, highlighting social issue, offering spiritual guidance Islam, and use real-life instances to educate moral value. And the last finding is social impact. It contributes positively by strengthening family and broader social bond, enhance communication, deepening understanding of readers and morality, and inspiring the adoption of habits in line with Islamic principles. Alright, next for the finding of Seni Berfikir Yang Hilang reveals its multifaceted significance. First, quality activity, claim for motivating digital perspective, its guidance practical understanding of psychology, creativity, and critical thinking. The book offers diverse distinct through example, inspiring readers to elevate their creativity. And number 2 is themes and message. Raising the trainability of creativity, it urges thinking beyond norms, laterally thinking, and overcome creativity obstacles. The book highlights failure as part of the process and value personal experience as inspirational source. Number 3 is Islamic knowledge integration. Integrating Islamic discipline into creativity, it explores Quranic translation, Islamic law, spirituality, ethics, and Islamic history or culture. This integration facilitates innovative interpretation of Quranic verse and creative solution within Islamic principles. And number 4 is Dawah approach. Taking a comprehensive approach, the book promotes the to deserve opinion, universal message delivery, and use creative thinking to convey Islamic concept. It emphasizes positive value like tolerance and compassion. And the last is social impact. Beyond fostering creativity and understanding Islam, it promotes open-mindedness, reduces societal friction, and instills responsible attitude. It potential person communication, focus on creativity and personal growth, influencing individual and societal perspective. It enhances berfikir hilang emerge as a valued resource not only nurturing creativity and practical strategy, but also seamlessly integrating Islamic teaching into personal and societal development. Alright, so the finding of Kembaran Bela Diri should lie on several key aspects. First, creativity and quality. The book showcases creative elements through its engaging writing style, inspirational stories, and unique perspective on self-development within an Islamic context. Its quality lies in a deep explanation of self-development, balancing theory with practical advice, and merging personal experience with scientific knowledge. Number 2 is themes and message. It explores self-development, spiritual growth, life reflection, and philosophical thinking from an Islamic viewpoint. Themes encompass self-discovery, spiritual dimension, critical thinking in Islam, and the pursuit of life purpose, offering readers a comprehensive guide to self-understanding. Number 3 is Islamic knowledge discipline. The book delves into various Islamic disciplines such as Tasawwuf, morality, Islamic education, which is tarbiyah, psychology in Islam, and Islamic philosophy. It aims to deepen the reader's understanding of self-development within the Islamic framework. Number 4 is approach of da'wah. The discussion approaches of da'wah include intellectual discourse, spiritual guidance, behavioral exemplification, community involvement, and personal storytelling. It aims to present Islam through logic, spirituality, elementary behavior, contribution, and personal connection. And last is social impact. The book emphasizes personal self-development in democratic Islamic ideas, delivering self-awareness to transmit knowledge through action. However, it also includes continuous remarks such as criticism of BBC, confident and anecdote about history events, potentially affecting readers' perception based on the author perspective. Hence, Kembaran Bela Diri offer a blend of creativity, quality Islamic teaching and Nizam Da'wah approach, aiming to guide the reader towards self-discovery, spiritual growth and understanding Islam, which in the context of personal development. Alright, so for the conclusion, there are a lot of lessons that society, especially young people, may learn from the studies finding and apply to their daily life, because his work fosters an immediate nature, that is, the appearance of thoughts that flow naturally without recurring through of reasoning, appraisal, morality, and interpersonal connections can both be improved in order to encourage readers to think more creatively. He also highlights the art of thinking in society. His writing also touched on science and Islamic history. Science, he aims to educate the readers about the value of science in life.